to that question.
I don't know if I've already asked this, but what do you think the qualities are of a good leader? Because obviously we talk about Trump, we always say he's a bad leader, but we could possibly be having Joe Biden next, and well, we don't know about his leadership qualities. He's been in politics for 30, 40 years. He's been there since longer than we've been alive.
Yeah.
And now he's running for presidency. Some people say that he has dementia, that he's not fit to run. So
he's old.
Yeah, but they're both old. They're both really old. Like
man.
Old. Yeah. So what are some qualities, or some good qualities anyway, of a leader, do you think?
Well, am I supposed to give like the Christian version of this, or like, to be fair, I mean, if we're like from what the Bible tells us, a good Christian is a servant. But that doesn't always translate to the working industry. I don't know if that makes sense. Like, sometimes being a leader at work means like the way you serve looks different. Like, you can't like do stuff for people because they're getting paid to work. I don't know if that makes sense. Like, you delegate, and I guess you can help people and stuff, but it's not the same as like
doing the work for them.
You can't hold people up the same way maybe you can do that in a church. So obviously it does translate differently in work, but I'd say the same way, like being able to, I don't know, just translate stuff like kindness, gentleness, self-control, genuinely, basically translating love and everything that falls under the fruit of love to wherever you are and however that looks. I think first and foremost, if a leader's loving, everything else flows out of that.
That's a word. You should tweet that.
Yeah. You should
tweet that. I'd say a good leader needs to be accountable. You need to have people around you who can hold you accountable, but also you need to be someone who is willing to learn, willing to admit that they've made mistakes, and willing to be able to be corrected. If you can't be corrected, then you can basically run off and do your own thing. But also leadership, even in the church and outside the church, there is an element of serving in the sense of, like, for example, my manager, she says in terms of like checking up on us, making sure that we're doing things correctly. If we need help, we'll go to her, right? She makes herself available for the people on my team to always be able to reach her if we need help. But considering that the president is someone that is elected by the people, voted for by the people, you're actually in a position of servitude, but to the entire nation.
You're a public servant.
You're a public servant.
Literally called a public servant.
Legit, you're a public servant. And so your interest should be the people of your land, to make sure that they're well fed, they're clothed, they have the basic needs that you should have, right? Clothes, shelter, healthcare, good schools and stuff like that, and to make sure that your rights aren't taken away. And when it comes to being a president of an entire nation, especially one as big as America, for example, it's especially important that, like I said, you are accountable, but also you hear the pleas of your people and you act in their best interest. And you have to be someone that is like gentle, like you said, Anna, loving, patient. It's hard. Imagine like having a doctor who just doesn't care about human life. You would question why that person is in that profession, right? So as a leader, it's important that you actually care for your people and you listen to them, but also you communicate with them, right? You do what's in their best interest. And just to go back to the